Hello there, it's Paul in Perth, and as we have now come to realise, we are now part of a big family. And as one of the brothers in your family, I care for your safety. So what I want to do with you today is look at car seat belts and how they get quite loose. You can see how that's quite loose, and they do that over time. And eventually they'll actually get so floppy that they'll end up in the door frame. And when you close the door, you'll get, see, this is what's happened here. It's been dented and scratched because that's ended up in the door frame when someone has closed the door. So I'm going to show you how to put the zip back into these. In terms of time, it was 2 days ago that I had this put in. So if you're following the story of my cancer journey, this is the Saturday, and I had this put in on Thursday night. I didn't post anything on Friday because I was very tired and in a fair bit of pain. So let's get on with how we fix up the seatbelt. There are two products that you can use to do this. One of the products is silicone spray, and you can see here silicone spray lubricant. The particular brand I've got here is SCA, which is an Australian brand called Super Cheap Auto. But pretty much any lubricant you can get that says it is a silicone spray lubricant will work. There is another product you can use to do the same job, which is graphite powder. I don't like the graphite powder because it leaves a residue. And when you do this job with graphite, the next time you use it with a white shirt, for example, you'll get a grey stain on your shirt from the graphite, and that'll stain about 3 shirts until it's worn out. This stuff doesn't stain from about 30 seconds after it's all been put on. It has evaporated and you're good to go. So let's go through the process of how to put the zip back into these with silicone spray. Sorry, before I do, I'll show you how they work. So this is a seatbelt taken out, and it is on a spool. So if I keep pulling that out, you'll see that the spool keeps coming out, and eventually you get to the end, right? Okay, see that? So it spools in and out. That's how it works. The tension on that comes from a device called a clock spring. So that's what a clock spring looks like. It is a spiral spring. So if I put my pliers on the end there and I turn, you can see that I'm taking up the tension into the middle, and then if I release it, it goes vip and it comes back. So this clock spring sits in there, and that's what provides the zip to pull it back, okay? Now what happens with these seat belts over time is you're putting your hands on them, and your hands have got grease on them. You've got hand cream, you've got sunscreen, you've got skin cells, and all of these things get onto the seatbelt itself, and they create friction. And your problem is, the reason it's not going back in with a lot of zip is you've now got too much friction on the seatbelt itself. So what I've done is I've pulled it all the way out, okay, so you can see I've got it all the way out, and now I'm going to spray the silicone onto the body of the belt while I let it retract, okay? All right? And now, and you didn't see these, but these are the compression stockings that I was wearing in hospital 2 days ago, and I kept them because it's always important to keep some good rags around. Now I'm going to use these rags to clean off any residual silicone, and it's not a lot of dirt coming off, so this one actually wasn't that dirty, but let's see how we go. Okay, it's a little bit better, but we haven't quite got it yet. So what we'll do is we'll do the back side. So we did the front side the first time, so now let's do the back side. Oops. Right. Right, now just give that about 10 or 20 seconds for it to dry. It's a what they call a volatile fluid, which means it evaporates very, very quickly, but it still does need a little bit of time to evaporate. Right, now let's see how it goes now. There we go. Okay, we're almost there. There we go. Okay, we're getting it. It's coming nice now. Okay, we've got it. You can see now it is going all the way up, and it wasn't doing that before. I think before it was a bit about there. Now it is going all the way through. And when that dries, and I can still feel it is a little bit wet, you'll have to trust me, but if you can hear that, that's the wet silicone. Can you hear that wet silicone sound? So it hasn't quite dried out yet. There you go, there she is. Let me get it nice and dry. Okay, boom, there we go. So it's going all the way back now. So that's how you do it. So it's really, really easy. It's very inexpensive. This cost $12 Australian, which is about $9 US. And I could easily do probably 10 to 12 seat belts with this. So the amount of what I actually used in terms of product cost there was about maybe $1. So it's well worth doing. In Australia, if you have a floppy seat belt that doesn't retract sufficiently, that is enough for you to get a work order on your car, which can actually result in your car being deregistered eventually. So it is a fault, it is worth fixing, and it's also really, really easy. So thanks for that. If you've enjoyed this, please firstly do it yourself. Don't be afraid to teach other people how to do it, because I want you to learn, but I also want you to teach other people the same tricks. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for calling Perth. See you later. Hi there. So after we finished filming that, I realised that I wasn't entirely happy with how fast that was going in and out. So I had a bit more of a think about why it hadn't worked as well here as it had in the past. And then I noticed that underneath here, so just right in there was gunk. And what I ended up doing was getting a Q-tip and putting silicone spray on the Q-tip and cleaning underneath there. And now check this out. Oh, that's not as dramatic as I thought. Hang on. Okay, there we go. So now it is zipping back quite a bit faster than it was before. There you go. So that's actually perfect now. So it is a matter of cleaning underneath there as well. And once you've got that, you'll find that the seatbelt retracts really quickly. So I hope that helps. It is a really simple thing to do, and it does improve the action of your seatbelt quite a bit. So that's, yeah, just a silicone lubricant spray. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks for calling Perth. Catch ya.